Hi there, my name's Amanda and I'm from Ballet Pro, and I wanted to talk to you today about Demi-Pointe shoes as a useful tool for preparing for point work. In order to get to a level where one's ready for point work, one needs to have incredibly strong muscles everywhere, in particular in the intrinsic foot muscles and ankle. Obviously your whole core stability is very important too, but often just general work in class isn't enough to prepare oneself for point shoe use. So a demi-pointe shoe can be extremely helpful. What is a demi-pointe shoe? Well, if you have a look at it here, it looks just like a point shoe, doesn't it? You really can't tell the difference from looking at it there. This is an R-class demi-pointe shoe. But if you compare it to the point shoe, just looking at it, you wouldn't know the difference. But it is different. It has less layers in the box, so it's slightly more flexible and malleable than a normal point shoe. You can see it's got quite a bit of give there. And the sole of it is thinner and more flexible than a point shoe. But it is a lot thicker than your normal ballet flat. So why would you use this? Well, because it's got the thicker sole, it's much harder for the foot to work in, and so you really need to work hard to point your foot correctly in the demi-pointe shoes. And so that really strengthens those little intrinsic muscles in the foot there. Also, because the sole of the shoe is that much thicker and solid, more solid than your normal ballet flatty, what it means is that it's actually quite hard to balance on it, and so it really strengthens your ankles because you're having to fight the whole time to balance on this platform. The other thing that's really good about demi-pointe shoes is that, like a point shoe, they get your foot used to working in this confined space. Normally when you're wearing your normal ballet flat shoes, your feet can spread out quite easily and they're much more free to move. But when you wear a full point shoe, your foot needs to be held really securely by the point shoe so that when you're on point, there's no movement and your shoe can work with your foot to support your body weight. And that can be a really, really strange feeling, going straight from ballet flats into point shoes. The demi-pointe shoe is a really nice in-between stage where it gets your foot used to working in this tight, slightly hard shoe, but it's not as hard and tight as a point shoe. It looks to everybody else like you're wearing a point shoe, but of course with a demi-pointe shoe you just never finally go on point. You would always stay at the demi-pointe position. Now, the idea is that you would wear the demi-pointes for 6 months to a year before going on point, and this would really, really help strengthen your feet. A word of warning though, for teachers, it's quite helpful to take shoes off every now and then and really have a look at what the toes are doing, because you want to be absolutely sure that a dancer is not curling her toes inside the demi-pointe without you noticing. Because when your toes are curling, you can't use your intrinsic foot muscles, and those intrinsic foot muscles are the ones that really keep everything nice and secure when you're up on point and help you point with straight toes. But you can't actually use those intrinsic muscles when your toes are curled. So use the demi-pointes, but check the feet bare every now and then in class to see what's happening with the toes. Demi-pointes aren't the only way to prepare for point. Obviously there are loads of different exercises you can do to help strengthen your feet. But I think demi-pointes are a really useful tool, especially if you've got a whole class of girls who want to go up on point, but not everybody's ready at the same time. A whole ballet class could start wearing demi-pointe shoes, and then one by one the teacher has the freedom to put whichever girl is ready next up onto point. I'll also tell you that girls who have worn demi-pointe shoes find their first point shoe fitting much easier, and it's much easier for the point shoe fitter because their feet are used to this really strange feeling. A point shoe feels really odd on your foot compared to a normal flatty, so demi-pointe shoes mean that the dancer is more likely to get the perfect fit for their first pair of point shoes. Often when you fit a pair of point shoes, it takes a while to get the perfect shoe for the girl, but if they've been wearing demi-pointe shoes, that process is so much quicker. So I really think demi-pointe shoes are a great tool for preparing for point, and I wish that more girls would wear them, as I think it would really help people enjoy point work much more if they started with really strong feet. Some people worry that using DemiPointes is an extra expense. I don't see it like that, because I think that having worn Demi-Pointe shoes for 6 months to a year, one's feet are stronger and more used to the feel of point shoes, and so you firstly can get a better fit with your first pair of point shoes, and we all know that better fitting point shoes last longer. Secondly, because you're stronger, you're not going to put as much strain on the shoe, so it's going to last longer. And thirdly, I think it helps you really know whether you really do want to go on point, or whether going up to DemiPointe is enough for you and you've had enough. So my recommendation is that everybody would wear DemiPointe shoes for 6 to 12 months before going on point, alongside a good exercise program looking at ankle strength, foot strength, core stability, and everything to do with it. There's absolutely no point going on point when you can't actually do anything when you're up there. So girls, have a look at these. Don't they look stunning? I'm sure you'd like to have a pair and get yourselves perfectly ready for point work.